Ask a Producer is a podcast where everyone belongs. No matter your craft, we welcome you as a guest on this show. Hosted by Gabriel Ori and J.R. Johnson, the dynamic duo that brings forth a show that's fun, enlightening, and family-oriented. If you are interested in being part of the show, email us at timelessproductions1@gmail.com.
Yo, what up, everybody? What's up, Facebook? As y'all can see, I'm by myself today. Gabe took a leave of absence, and him and his wife decided to have a baby. I'm just messing. But yeah, he's relaxing and taking his time out with his wife and new baby girl, and praises out to the Most High for blessing him with a beautiful baby girl, Miss Gabriella, I think. Hey man, forgive me if I messed that up. Just text me the name. But yeah, I'm glad to be a part of this today. Got a good friend of mine, Mr. Darris Nolan, is going to be joining me, and good guy, man. He's doing a lot out in the community, and he's just a guy with many hats, just doing great things. So, but before I get started, I wanted to also, before I bring him on, I also wanted to bring up a part about in 2 weeks we're going to have a special guest that's coming on from I won't say where, but so he's a guy that's in the comedy world, and he's well known. So we'll keep you posted on that. But we're also going to have some prizes for those who come on and be a part of the show. So stay tuned for that. We'll be sending stuff out in a few days. So yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my boy Darris Nolan.
Hey, what's up, my friend?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Hey, I can't complain. I see you out there living the nightlife.
Man, listen, I hate to be one of those people, but I have so much going on that I actually have a performance tonight with my band Good Trouble, shameless plug.
Right.
And we have a show here at the Royal American on Morrison Drive in Charleston, South Carolina at actually 9:30. So I was here setting up, and I wanted to get it out of the way so that I can be available for your great podcast. So
Right.
I'm in the car now, so I hope you don't mind the car view and everything, man. But can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're sounding real good.
All right, good. So I'm going to put some lights on and make this thing happen, brother.
What time does the show start?
It starts at 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was at 9 o'clock, but it's actually at 9:30. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry about the lighting situation, but we're gonna make this thing happen, bro. Anyway, yeah, thanks for having me on, Jay. So what's going on, man?
Hey man, you the man. I understand. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So tell us, man. Tell us a little bit about Darris.
Oh man, Darris Nolan. I'm gonna just keep it real with you 100% the whole time. Born in Brooklyn, New York. 90s. And just a Christian man trying to live for God, to be as best as I possibly can, and just try to keep it real, be honest with people, and just try to be a good person. Right now, I'm working in the medical field. I've been a ER technician since 2004. So about 17 years, going on 18 years of doing that. Also a musician, organist. My first ministered music appointment was I was 19 years old, and I was at your father's church. At the time, it was called Friendship Inspiration Church of God in Christ. I think it's called New Vision now, I believe. Your dad's still at the helm. So shout out to him for giving me a chance at a young age. I'm gonna just be honest. Yeah, I wasn't hardly making no money, Jay. Father wasn't. I just playing. Nah, man. But I was young, and I didn't really understand, the business side of church. But it was a good start, and I was happy because he expected a lot out of me. There's a big expectation with the Church of God in Christ as far as music goes. I mean, everybody knows of the Clark sisters, but there's just an array of people, influential artists, not just in the gospel world, but also in the secular world, that got their start in the Kojic denomination, if you will. So I got that going at an early age. Like I said, I've been in the medical field, and right now, I'm doing a lot of things as far as, businesses. I run two performance bands. One's called The Lavish Sound, which is more of my jazz, jazz soul, kind of like, my corporate gigs, weddings, and stuff like that. And then we have a hip hop band, hip hop, soul, pop stuff called Good Trouble. That's who I'm performing with tonight, with a great friend of mine, Mike Live, a great rapper. Another gentleman named Slim Soul, and down here in Charleston. Great rappers. If you're into hip hop and rap music, please check them out on YouTube and Spotify and other platforms. And just great things, man. I'm also endeavoring into the trucking logistics world as a dispatcher. So I just started that. That's been very challenging. That's not really my thing, but I like to be challenged. So, I'm looking forward to the challenge, so I'm embracing it. So, yeah. But anyway, that's kind of what I have going on right now. But my mom and dad raised me in the church. I have a brother and a sister, older brother, younger sister. My dad passed away in 2015. He got me into music. He was a choir director, and he was the one that was very, very diligent about music. He was a very steady man. He was very consistent, didn't waver at all, and he always told me, if you're going to do something, make sure you do it right and do it well. So that's kind of like how I got my discipline from. My mother, who's still here with us, thank the Lord. She's in Somerville, and she sings the praises of God. She's always still on fire for the Lord, and she's 76 years old now, and she's happy, and a cancer survivor also. So
Oh, wow.
I thank God for her as well. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with me and what I'm about right now. So just
Nice.
doing my thing, my man. It's like
Nice.
you.
So when did you end up in Charleston?
So I ended up in Charleston. So like I said, I have to be politically correct. Charleston area, people in Somerville say we're not Charleston,
right.
We're Somerville.
Exactly, yeah.
But I ended up in Somerville in I think 1990 or 91 or something like that. I was still in school, in grade school, and it was culture shock for me, man. It was different. It was slower. My aunt Isabel Elder. We would always come down and visit her in the summer, so I was acclimated somewhat to the heat and the humidity here and kind of like the ways of Somerville, but living here was a big culture shock. I was used to noise, and I remember as a kid, I had a bird's nest outside of my window, and the birds were chirping all night. I was like, what is that annoying sound? I'm like, now when I got older, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm used to sirens and people screaming. Yeah. I mean, I lived in a good neighborhood in Brooklyn, but I was used to like sirens and different kind of noise. It was an adjustment for me, but I think for the most part it's been good to me. I still consider myself a city boy. I went to New York quite often, before the COVID pandemic, and I try to travel a whole lot. But I think I'm more of a city guy than country guy. If that makes any sense. But I do appreciate both cultures.
Right. So I guess your whole family moved down this way, or was it like some type of choice to move here as far as work or?
No. I was young. I was still in grade school, like I said. So my mom and dad would like get in the car.
Oh, wow.
Get in the car. I had no choice, man. I was like I said. I think I was like in the 7th grade or 6th grade, 8th grade, something like that. And my dad was from Somerville, so that's what the connection was.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
My dad was from Somerville. Yeah, went to Somerville High School. Actually, no, he went to Alston High School. He graduated when there was still segregation. So Alston High School, which is now Alston Middle School, if it's still named that, it was the black school, so to speak, and Somerville was the white school. So that's where how we ended up here. My mother's from Georgia, but my dad was from Somerville. So that's the connection.
Nice.
There.
Now, out of your siblings, do any of them play instruments like you?
Yeah, so my older brother, he doesn't play like me. I'm better. No, I'm just playing. He hasn't touched in a while, but we had a grand piano in our house in New York, and so because my dad was a choir director, he would, have to teach parts. So he would use piano to learn the parts of the songs. And he was a big Edwin Hawkins fan, Walter Hawkins fan. Those were for you and I, Jay, like our, Kirk Franklin or Hezekiah Walker, James Hall. That was, and now, you got other artists, but they were the thing back then. So he used the piano to kind of learn the parts and teach parts, choir rehearsal and stuff like that. And, it was great. Like my dad, I have great fond memories of him because I remember, sitting at the record player, this is before like CDs and things like that. He would sit and move the needle back and forth to get this certain word of the song that he was just like determined to get. So it showed me like intuitiveness and resilience and all of that good stuff, man. So it was just one of those things, man, that I learned from, and he, like I said, still I think about him every day, man. So he has a great impact on my life.
Wow, nice. That's good to hear, man.
But my brother, I didn't answer the question. My brother played piano too. I'm sorry about that, Jay. He played piano, and I didn't come here playing the piano. I came here playing the drums like every other church boy.
Yeah, exactly.
And the church that we went to, right? The church that went like an aggressive instrument, being a boy. But the church we went to, the organist, he had a job out of town or something like that, and we had another drummer at the time, and he wanted to play drummer. So I just tried to play the organ. So I just tried to play, and I just kind of like played what I thought. It's kind of like you. We just fiddle faddle around, and then we try to make something. At first you're just making noise. The noise ain't even joyful. It's just we just trying to do something, and then at some point God touches it, and it becomes not music, but it becomes magic. So that's kind of how I got to playing the organ and the piano and stuff like that. Yep.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I remember when we first. I'm trying to remember when we first met.
Yeah, we met at.
Because I think because I was I leaving for school or was I traveling back and forth?
You were in Charlotte. You were Charlotte.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you were traveling back and forth. You were in Charlotte. And I'm going to say this now, and I always say it. I'm not just saying it because I'm on your show. Jay, you are the cleanest organist I ever heard in my life. I have never heard a person, you sound studio ready when you're just like playing around. And everybody asked me, they're like, man, I said, listen, if I ever did a gospel project and I needed an organist, I'm calling J.R. Johnson. I'm going to give him the yay or nay first before I ask anybody else. I don't care who got what reputation. I don't care about that. I know you're easy to work with. You're smooth, cool, and you take it seriously, but that sound of yours is clean. It's clean as a whistle. So, you don't know this, but I remember a song you showed me how to play. You don't remember this because these things don't matter to you much. But but it was The Holy Place by Ricky Dillard. Remember that song? The Holy Place. In the sanctuary. Don't make me sing on this thing. Yeah. I'm like, this dude is tremendous, and I'm like, God, this dude is nice. So that was the first song you ever played for me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to play like that, in the sense of just being clean. 'Cause I was kind of sloppy, but anyway, no, that's when you and I first met, like right around, I would say 2000 and maybe three.
Okay, I thought it was late.
Yeah.
I thought it was late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate
like
that, man. I don't like to take all those
compliments.
So I appreciate it, man. I still think I need a lot to learn, man. I got a lot growing to do, so. But shout out to Gabe, Danielle. I see y'all in the back. Appreciate y'all tuning in and saying what's up to us. And so you talked about your group. Now, how did that get started? Let's talk about Lavish Sounds first, because I know after you left NBC, you of course went to play for other churches, and then I haven't seen you. Well, I've seen you every now and then, but then I noticed that you was kind of progressing in the group thing out there in the band field, man. So you're doing your thing out there. How did all that get started?
Man, listen, I have to be honest. Somebody actually approached me at a church service one day, and they were like, "Man, let me get your number. So he called me like a week later. He's like, yo, man, I'm starting a band. I want to know will you be my keyboard player? I was like, listen, man, I've been in charge of things like my whole musical career. I do not want to be in charge of it. I just want to play. And I'm not going to call his name because I don't want to start nothing, but he literally, like, I'm telling the truth, though. He's like, okay, man, I'll run it. I just want you to come play keys. That's all right, cool. So, a couple rehearsals and, never got a chance to get together. We had a meeting or whatever at a restaurant. We're going to do this. And he dropped the ball. And I was dating someone at the time, and she said, Darris, why don't you just do it? You can do it yourself. And I said, you know what? I'm a born leader. I guess I could do it. So it just kind of happened like that. And I just started gathering people, and people say things but don't always, keep their word and stuff like that. So I went through a lot of transition at various points.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but just people in general, man, like musicians, singers, and just people in general. So anyway, I settled. When I say settled, I mean they came through for me. The last functional, how can I say, version of the Lavish Sound was Chanel Austin. She moved, I think, and Rico Coben on bass and DeMario Kid on drums, and we got a chance to work with the great Sean Dobie, producer here in Charleston, for many years. We had some appearances on like Fox 24, and we cut a few songs. They're on like Spotify, and then we're able to be on Bounce TV, I believe, on Channel 5 or whatever channel here in Charleston. Amanda Hopkins was the singer on that one. And so, a lot of shifting does happen because people are busy and, but I've been able to work with a good group of people. All the people I named them for a reason because they were dependable and reliable. That's good. I think we saw each other at the March of Dimes. Was that it?
Was it? Yeah,
March of Dimes.
My wife and I was out there. Yeah. That was dope, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We're going to be back again this year too, man. So looking forward to that. That's going to be on November 18th. Of this year, next month actually. This is already October, which is crazy. But anyway, so that's that group. So that's what that's about.
And this band is particularly like soul, R&B, pop, all that. Yeah, gospel.
Yeah, the one I'm doing now. You talk about the one I have now. The other one?
No, Lavish Sound. Lavish Sound. That's
Lavish Sound is more like your jazz, your slight pop, your soul stuff like that. With Good Trouble, we kind of do a lot of hip hop stuff. Gotcha. A lot of places here like to hear hip hop covers and whatnot. I don't like covers, like to be original, but sometimes I do it just to get people in, to get them drawn in. Then we flip it and put our own little spin on things, man. But actually, that's what Lavish is, and this one is more hip hop oriented.
Yeah, Gabe, he's out in his car right
I
now.
know. Yeah, Gabe, I'm in the car. No, man, I'm sorry. I'm in the car. I realize that. I may even go outside, man. Yeah.
No, I can see you got the light on now. I see with the light, but it's all good.
All right, yeah. I moved up a little bit. Yeah.
You're a busy
man. I'm sorry, man. I owe you a better one. When I listen, when I have y'all on my show, don't be in the dark. Y'all gonna be in the closet on me. Get me back.
We got cameras,
man. I'm gonna get you, man.
We got cameras, so we like to test out the camera, and, all that kind of stuff. But man. For those of you that are tuning in, man, we got Mr. Darris Nolan in, man, a man of many hats, and we're so appreciative of him coming on and spending time with us before his gig and everything. So,
man, my pleasure.
So how long has the hip hop group?
So this group is called Good. This is called Good Trouble. We started back in February, and again, in January. Okay. This was kind of like an accident situation. I just wanted to move on from Lavish to do something a little bit different, kind of stretch my legs and do some stuff that I really wanted to do. I'm a big fan of Robert Glasper. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he's a great jazz piano. His stuff is dope, man. We're gonna be doing some of his stuff tonight here at Royal American on Morrison Drive in Charleston, South Carolina. But anyway, it's starting at 9:30. But
There you go.
I wanted to do some more of his stuff. So I compiled some guys, a drummer, I got a bassist, and a saxophone player that Chris Williams, who's great, and he plays sax, and I sing a little bit, so we kind of get that sound. That's been going on since January, and we were able to work with Uptown Social. They gave us a residency right away. This is before the pandemic. Things kind of opened
Wow.
back up, but they wanted to get back in. So we started with them in January, and we have been there every Saturday up until when football season started. They're a sports bar, so they have to kind of cater to that crowd. So
Yeah.
every Saturday they're what they call bodega brunch from 12 to 3.
Okay.
But they have another spot opening up. They call it the Share House around the corner on Ann Street. So we'll be back there starting in November. So we have residencies going, and we've been able to perform at a lot of places here in Charleston. Like we're here tonight for the first time at Royal American. We've done Tobin's Market. The Commodore has been next to us. So, God is still good, although we're not singing Jesus music, so to speak. God is always with us. And, the Bible says if you acknowledge him in all thy ways, he shall direct your path. So that's what I do. I acknowledge him and he directs my path. So that's the way I go. And I'm not ashamed of that. I would never be ashamed of God. I'm saying? Never be
Right.
ashamed of Jesus and the things he's done for me and the ways he's made. So that's what this, I'm going to go on a rant, but that's what this group is about.
Nice. Man, you know what? You gave me props, but I still wonder why is it that I'm not in the band? I've been trying to play in somebody's band for the past, let's see, 5-6 years now. Because the last time we gigged, or the last
Listen,
time
man,
I gigged was I think Gabe and I started. We started Timeless Band before we started Timeless Production, and that was
okay.
probably 2010, I think. Gabe, help me out. What year was that? But yeah, ever since then, nothing. We've just been doing more studio work. I'm like, all right, well, cool. I guess ain't nobody want to play with me. Well, they don't want me to play with them.
Nah, that's not true. I have you anytime, bro. We could talk about that off. He said 2008. But yeah, I'll have you anytime, and we could talk off camera and make this thing happen.
Right.
But I guess he asked if I do studio work. Yeah, of course I do studio work, man. I mean, and studios have actually evolved a lot since you and I first started, Jay. You can make a whole thing using like Logic or other like out of your house, like your crib that time, and you had a straight up like all together like studio, and I'm like, man, this is great. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of inspired me. That you actually helped me out with some of those pieces, but yeah, man, it's different now. So, but as far as playing in the band, you can play for my band anytime, man. I'm always looking to kind of diversify. I look at Good Trouble and the Lavish Sound as my babies, and I have the autonomy to put where I want to put them, and so I use that for the betterment of the band. You know what I'm saying, for what's going on. So yeah, man, I'll have you guys in and we can collaborate. We'll talk, man, for real. Just let me know when you're ready to talk. We do it.
Nice. So are y'all? So is this band? Well, let's start with Lavish Sound. Are you going to be like doing some studio work with the band and with Good? I keep forgetting the name of the
Good Trouble. Good Trouble.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Trouble.
Good Trouble. Just think of John Lewis. He inspired me to have that name, John Lewis.
Sweet.
Shout out to the late great John Lewis. Great civil rights leader, just passed away this past year or this current year. Yeah, we're gonna do some studio work, man. I really want to cut an album, and I guess I'm showing my age by saying album, but I do want to release a project and just kind of give things my take. And I want to do all the music that I like, which obviously are gospel and jazz, but I like to do some rock and roll and do some flips and get into some classical stuff too, and some bluegrass and do all of that stuff. I actually like all kind of music, and I'm not, discriminate to any one particular kind. And I feel like music is an expression. It is an art. And so in order to express your art, man, we gotta do what needs to be done.
Right.
Yep.
So before we go to a break, how often do you guys gig? Is this every weekend, every once?
So
once
we
a week?
gig, we gig every weekend, and then I do stuff outside of the two bands. I do corporate weddings with another company, Emerald Empire Band. Actually, I have one in Savannah tomorrow, so I'm gonna be there. But this is wedding season. We're right in the middle of it, so people are getting
Yeah,
married left and right. As you know, Charleston and Savannah are heavy wedding cities.
yeah. The
People
scenery.
come from other cities to Charleston to get married, which
Right.
is very expensive. And but you know how weddings are. It's whatever the bride wants, right?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
that's what happens,
you
man.
know how that goes.
Yeah, and so yeah, well, listen, you got a daughter, so you better get ready, 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 like CDJ said.
Bro. She just like her mama
Yeah,
too.
man. But yeah. I know, man. But anyway, yeah. So I do that kind of stuff. So we gig every weekend, and we typically post on social media. We're at good_trouble on 843. Excuse me, good_trouble 843 on Facebook as well as Instagram, and I post weekly. And I forgot to mention one other establishment that has us quite often. The Bay Street Beer Garden, which is on East Bay Street, right down the street from where I am now. We were there
Okay.
last Saturday with their post bridge run party, and we had a good turnout, man. We had good response. Man, Gabe he's
Yeah,
full
that's
of it, man.
confidential.
It's got yeah, exactly. Right. And if Gabe play, that's gonna have to be a few more zero on the right side. That fee is gonna go way up and all the way up, like Fat Joe says. But anyway, yeah, man. So we're there. So we normally post. I normally post on social media to make sure that we let our people know where we're gonna be and that kind of stuff, bro. Yep.
Nice. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about your podcast, man, because I know you're doing that
Sounds
too.
good.
Your podcast and
Sounds
your
good,
trucking
man.
business. So
Yep.
stay
Sounds good,
tuned.
man.
All right.
All right.
I really enjoy meeting people from all different walks of life. I love hearing their stories. I love hearing about what's important to them. I love hearing about their children. I love hearing about their families and really learning how they live their lives, and which really does make real estate the perfect career for me. If you are looking for a realtor that really will take the time out to listen to you and hear you and understand your needs and wants, then the Rose School Group really is for you. That's our goal, to really provide you with the premier real estate experience.
Elegant, stylish, smells so good. Fill the room with love, peace, joy. Ah, but that smell. A smell so good you can taste it. Now, the all-new Sense by J.O.
All right, we're back and want to thank you guys for watching. Ask a Producer. Got my boy Darris Nolan on with us. As you can see, he is in his car preparing for his gig. Hey, this guy that's always busy doing his thing, I'm happy for him, and he's doing great things in the community, man. So about this podcast, bro,
Thanks
tell us
for
about that.
having me. All right, my podcast. I did forget to mention that, man. It's entitled Different Echelon. Inspired by one of my favorite rappers when it comes down to music, Nasir Jones, known as Nas. In a song, he was talking about being on a different. He pronounced it echelon, but I thought it was like echelon. So I looked it up, and of course, it just means a different level, just a level of originality, just flavor. And so I've always fancied myself and been a different kind of guy. I'm very comfortable there. So the podcast actually has very many topics, but our slogan is to enrich, empower, and to educate. And we try to do all those things. So my first ever podcast was with a friend of mine, Daniel Burden of, I believe he actually sold my first house that I bought back in 2019. And I knew nothing about houses or whatever. I lived in an apartment or rented my whole life. Was about to turn 40 or turned 40, and I wanted to do something special for myself. So I bought a house. And it was a process, but he walked me through it. So I thought, not robbery, as they say in the church, to have him as have him as my first guest. So he was my first guest, I believe, and then my older brother was a guest as well. He's an educator in New York. So we cover a lot of.
Uh-oh, did I lose you? You muted? You muted yourself? Uh-oh. I see you talking. Think you might have muted yourself. Try it again. No, still muted. Yep, still muted. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
All right,
There you go.
I'm unmuted.
There you go.
All right,
there
I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's all good.
But anyway, yeah, we do a lot of stuff, man, from money management to musicians. I've had a lot of local people to promote their businesses. I have a good friend, Mario Kid, again, the drummer for Lavish Sounds. He has a food truck, so we do a lot of people, man, different things. But and actually in the whole George thing, rest in peace. It was I had a good friend of mine who was a police officer up in Greer, South Carolina, and he talked about the relationships between but between officers and people of the community. So so anyway, he was on and was talking and back and forth, and it was very timely to have him on at that time. But we have a lot of stuff on. I even had a girl that does makeup. Just anything out there, just how to apply makeup, not to sleeping in makeup, stuff like that. Stuff that does not necessarily apply to me, but, applies to someone. So we try to do something for everybody, and you can find those episodes on a different echelon on YouTube. And I typically record on YouTube and on Facebook through this platform that we're on right now with your podcast. And I'm endeavoring to get it onto Spotify, podcast-friendly services.
I tell you what, man, ever since the pandemic, this podcasting thing has been like shooting out of
control.
Yeah, man, everybody's doing it, man. I'm like, wow. Yeah. But it's good,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
And
Yep.
So out of all of the things that you do, which one kind of pulls you more? Is it the music, the podcast, the trucking business, which we're going to talk about in a few?
Yeah, I think the podcast is my favorite. I'm a people person, like to learn about people and learn about things. So I would say the podcast. Music, of course, and I do music. I mean, I do it a lot. I don't want to neglect it or push it down to the bottom of the list, but it's something I do more. Like it's and it's fun, so to speak. But podcasting is like straight up fun for me. Actually, I mean, work goes into it, but I like to learn about people. Like, when I
Right.
have you and Gabe on, I'm gonna pick your brain, picking mine, and you learn. That's the thing about. And I don't want to get off on a rant about like where we are today in the world, but
Now you good.
that's what we have a lot of division that we have because no one takes the
Mhm.
time to learn to people.
Yeah,
I'm
and
very
not only that.
comfortable here.
Oh, my bad. I
Go
didn't
ahead.
mean to cut you off. Not only that, you're a good
No, sorry.
speaker, man. You're a good
Oh,
talker.
thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and
It's a lot,
I
man. I try to be frugal.
hey, produce. That's what the show is
Yes,
all
sir.
about. Ask a
Yes,
producer.
sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. I appreciate that. Yep, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
For those of you that's tuning in, man, is you're watching Ask a Producer. Ask a Producer is not just about music producers. It's about you
Mhm.
producing something in life. You can be a
Yeah, man.
doctor. You can be an actor or actress, the president of the United States. Hopefully one day we'll be able to talk to President Obama, and
Yeah, you
you
will.
know
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
just producing something in life and making a difference in life. So you are a producer. So that's why we call this show. It's a little twist to it, but you are a producer. So, but yeah, Darris, man, I see you in that lane because, man, you're gifted in that area. Me, I don't like to talk. I just like to do what I need to do. So that's why
Yeah,
When
you are.
Gabe was on the show, he's the talker. I'm just behind the scenes. I like to be
Yeah.
behind the scenes doing things, but me,
Nah,
I just like
you
to keep
good
my
at what
mouth
you do
shut.
too, man. And it's crazy because doing all that. I'm coming. Yeah. Oh, see, they're trying to get coming. What's up?
Right.
I'm coming right now, man. Cool. I'm sorry, man. They need me in there to do a sound check, but I do want
Okay.
to plug my trucking business. It's called Nolan Trucking and Logistics, and I started this dispatch trucking. The trucking industry is crazy too. I didn't realize it was like that, man. But anyway, it's basically dispatch drivers, man, to different venues. Driver, you say, hey, man, I want to drive, and Publix has a load. I negotiate a fee, and then I send you on your way, and we make it happen, man. But it's very, very, you have to be on it. You can't be slacking. It's not something that you could just like lay in the bed and expect to make money. You got to go out
Right.
there and get it, man. So,
Right.
but anyway, man, I'm sorry I got to run, Jay. I got to do sound check. You know how that
Nice.
is.
Well, tell the
But
people
I
how you can
promise
be
you, I'll
reached.
come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I can be reached, man, at Darris Nolan 28 at Gmail email address. You can find me on IG, Darris Nolan on Facebook, IG. I am a different echelon. And you can talk to me, man. I'm a reachable person. But if you have any questions or you want to be on my podcast, or you have something fruitful to say, I'll have you on as a guest. But I'm you two on specifically in the next couple of weeks, man. So we'll be talking about that. We'll make it happen. But I want to thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry I have to cut it short.
And no problem, man.
But other things are going on, and I apologize. I really do, to you and to my bandmates. So I got to go in and eat a little bit of crow when I get inside. But again, Gabe, congratulations to you and your wife, and congrats to your show, man. You and JR are doing great things. I love both of you guys, man. Keep it in the middle of the road, as they say in South Carolina. Keep it steady, and I know what you're doing because you make a difference.
Well, thank you, man. We appreciate you coming on, man. Enjoy your show tonight.
Yeah.
And one day I'll be able to
I
catch
sure
you
will,
guys.
man. Sounds good. Talk about you now. You already said it. Now you want to play, so it's on the World Wide Web. You can't back down now.
Hey, I ain't backing down. I'm waiting.
There you go. All right, man. We'll talk soon, man. God bless you both. God
Hey,
bless
bro.
you all, man. Shout out to all your listeners. I'll talk.
Thank you, man.
All right, man. Have a good evening.
Deuces. You too, bro.
Take care, man. Easy.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Mr. Darris Nolan coming in and blessing us with his presence. And again, you see his information below. He can be reached there. And before I go, just remember we have a special guest that's coming in. His name is comedian Ron G. If you never heard of him, look him up on Instagram, Facebook, social media, all over. And then you'll tell me later when we have the show again. You'll know who he is. And for those that do watch us, I thank you all for your time and coming on, watching and supporting us. And we have something special. Like I said, I will be putting it in the advertisement. So stay tuned for that. And looking forward to the next show. So again, Gabe is out. He's out doing daddy duties. Got a beautiful baby girl. Congratulations to him and his wife, Robin. And hey, I'm out. Again, this is Axe the Producer. And I appreciate y'all tuning in, and see us in 2 weeks. All right. Peace.
You